The UFL Gambling Podcast Week 4 preview picks and DFS episode of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. Use our promo code TCESGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Bill Romanowski. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, it is. Do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football. This
Welcome to the UFL Gambling Podcast Week 4 preview and picks and DFS, where crossroads meet bullshit. We are here for you, folks. Hop on over to YouTube, youtube.com/@UFL Gambling Pod. Hit that like and subscribe button because we built this city. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
Oh boy, we got coaching news. We got a lot of coaching news. Is this just a coach episode? We're gonna do our picks on a different pod.
Yeah.
And, can we fit it all into 1 hour here? Shout out to Channing Brown who says, "Let's go." I am joined by my co-host. He is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, which cashed big on some Masters golf plays a week ago. But they know him as Scumbagger Vance. Some know him as the Bet Detective. Give it up for the great CJ Sullivan. How are you, pal?
Good. How we doing, fellas? It is a lot of coaching carousels. I had to read up about the New Orleans Breakers. Apparently, their old coaches are coming into the league now. They're dipping into all the old bag of tricks to get an active roster going out here.
Breaker 1-2, come on in now. Right? We're also joined by third man on the booth, on the booth. I don't fucking know. All right. But he is the host of the Old Fashioned Football Podcast. I did a show last night. It was a nice little show they put together there. Check it out. We're talking NFL draft stuff over there, but give it up for Justin Mark, a.k.a. No Turn J Mark. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. Yeah, we had a good time last night. After we were done, Miranda goes, "You think CJ would also come on the show sometime? We got to get him on." I was like, "Okay."
Wow. Look at this.
You're replacing you already, Colby.
He's already
there.
And J Mark's already using the wife to try to get the emotional pull to get me as a book guest there. Can't even ask straight up. You wouldn't let down J Mark wifey, would you?
I got this Bet Detective competition. I signed on. I just did the SGP show, and they said, "Yeah, we pulled back. We did the Dr. Phil episode again, but we had CJ replace you, Dundee." And this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This prick bastard you give him an inch, and he takes a fucking mile, huh?
I know.
I'm joking, buddy. But guys, we have a lot of news. Like a lot of news. This isn't your standard. I guess it is standard in a way, but Ken Wisenhunt took the first week off. Said, "You guys got this. Got to go to my concert up in Napa." He came back to Memphis for a couple weeks. Lost a couple games for him. I believe two games for him. And then he said, "You know what, guys? I quit." This is fantastic. Ain't this fantastic? Jim Turner's back as the head coach of the Memphis Showboats. And they went out and hired Noel Mozone, I believe, as the offense coordinator from the Breaker 1-2s, New Orleans Breakers. So we have a little. What the hell is happening here? I mean, hold on. We also in San Antone, we got some news. AJ Smith. You think you're a fucking hot shot with your shades and your fucking girlfriend on the sideline sometimes. He quit a week ago, and we said, "Hey, we got Peyton Pardee, NFL lineage, right?" Peyton Pardee caught a great game. They covered, of course. We were on it. But Wade Phillips, he said, you know what? God damn it, I had enough of this league as well. Wade Phillips, well, they said he might be back, right? I don't know what the hell's happening, but Wade Phillips, son of a bum, 77 years young or 78 years young, so maybe it's health related. Maybe it's just he just doesn't give a shit about the league. But he is no longer the head coach as, Peyton Pardee was so impressive week 1. They say, you know what, Peyton, you're a hell of a good guy. Let's make you the head coach of this Brahmas team. Holy shit, what's happening here, guys? Make it make sense, Bet Detective.
I was actually I was waiting to find out that AJ Smith came back as the head coach there, because it'd be one thing if son of a bum fired AJ and then quit. That'd be hilarious. That's what people are trying to say, but we all know son of a bum had no idea what the going ons are, what's going in.
Who's AJ? I mean? Who's AJ? Right. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Who Jackie? Yeah, I don't know. There's some people bring up the son of a bum age thing, but I mean, he was 72, whatever the hell last week. Well, that didn't just pop up on him, maybe couldn't figure out the code to get in or something. It could be an old man thing like that, but I don't care. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get into what's going on now. What's going on out there with as far as the coaches?
I don't get brain man. Cold.
What are they just finding out now? Is what I want to know. Like they all came in knowing what's going on. What's happening?
It's like you knew the gig.
Yeah, I cannot do this yet.
You knew the gig. First off, there was a year prior, but you also knew the XFL and USFL. What the hell's happening here, J Mark? And I mean, how great should we feel about our futures of Birmingham, Michigan, and Arlington, just because those 3 coaching staffs are intact? Your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. And 2 of those very well coached teams, in my opinion. The Wade Phillips thing doesn't completely surprise me. I mean, he has been coaching from the booth, which you see DCs and OCs do that. It's odd to me for a head coach to do that.
Yeah.
I think there has been some health related stuff, and maybe he just decided like, I can't keep up with this. I can't keep even in the booth. So that doesn't completely surprise me. The Wisenhunt thing. It's just like, why come back if you're just going to leave again?
That's the best one. That's the best one. It was like Wade Phillips one. Who knows his age? Maybe it is age related. Maybe it's just bullshit. Maybe he just finally found out the TMC network or whatever. But the Wisenhunt one is gold. It's just fucking gold. Week 1, you guys got it. Right? I'll be back. I'm back. I'm reinstated. Right? 2 weeks later, you guys got it. I'm out of this bullshit.
Now it's like, oh, you guys are worse than I thought. I thought you guys had something, but this is awful.
Where's Jim?
Also,
this damn team.
Could be a situation where checks aren't clearing as well. That could always be a situation when you talk about these leagues. We already know they're striking, and things weren't on the up and up as to begin with. I mean, this is where the first rolls of paychecks coming in, and
the Rock hasn't shown up since.
That's what I mean. The ex-wife is everywhere. Danny's everywhere. She's
that flight. He's still having flight problems in Hawaii. Right? That plane can't find the right plane. Aviation's being tested.
If he shows up in WrestleMania and then anybody can't show up to UFL, we're gonna find out. So I bet the flight can get him to Vegas. I bet you that.
Did The Rock get his letter? I don't know. He lives in that's why, getting mail out to Hawaii is tough. Half the island burnt down. There's no mailman. You know what I mean? I could totally see this happening here. This is why he did not want to show up there. But this is critical. I mean, in a way, it's great just because of our futures market. I mean, between DC, which looks great, but you got to think, how many coaches can you continuously lose if you're DC? And how, like I said, the spring game, you're ramping up to a season at Tennessee State. So more effort's going to be, I think, put into that. But I mean, I guess this is an easy answer with DC, but do you actually think there's value in a future of any of these teams with these coaching problems?
Well, you're talking about futures. I mean, we're talking about let's see, Memphis is at 56-1 now, which is pretty absolutely insane. I mean, what goes hand in hand with these coaching things is that these teams are terrible. You know what I mean? A lot of these coaches.
Oh,
are
not DC though. DC's losing other coaches.
Yeah,
and
no,
they look-
not
yeah.
DC, of course, and they look like the best team right now. But which if anything, it would solidify the other teams for their futures and get value on it. I like my Arlington more, St. Louis, and Birmingham are the three teams that have solid ground to stand on.
Well, St. Louis is a tricky one because of that division. Well, I guess because you got DC, St. Louis, and Arlington. That's a huge game this weekend with Arlington and St. Louis. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of think Birmingham. I have a future on Birmingham, Michigan, and Arlington, and I feel decent about all three. I need Arlington to win this week, though. But it is a bummer in a way of like from the league standpoint. It's like need. How did you guys not have a meeting about this shit before? Saying we need continuity. We're building this league, so please don't exit AJ Smith. Please don't. Am I crazy? I just feel like
I don't know. I'm not. I think if anything, it might help a little bit. Get your Wizen Hunts and your old NFL tournament. Get them out of here. Get these guys. Get the guys who want to be here. You know what I mean? Not people who are just trying to dig up one last thing like a paycheck and cashing in their name, who aren't up to pace in the innovations of football and who just don't want to be here. Look at DC. Look how they're thriving now that Barlow and the whole staff left. You know what I mean? Because you got guys who have their vendettas of being called chauffeurs and and doormen, for crying out loud. That's the kind of guys we want. Those are the guys I want to put on the front page of this league.
I agree. J Mark, what do you think is a big picture for this whole season? What do you make of all this shakeup?
Yeah, it is a little crazy that they can just break contract and say deuces. It doesn't look good for the league. I do agree with CJ in the long run, getting some of these younger guys in here that maybe haven't been these old coaches that have been around for years. Maybe that is a good thing.
I'm all the way behind that. Why wouldn't you come with that game plan, say 2 months ago?
Yeah. Mid-season, that's what is tough.
Yeah. I'm completely shout out to Rod Villa Gomez, our pal.
100%.
Dude, to me, you almost need to be like anyone in their 70s, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? unless like, I know June Jones with the Houston Roughnecks, the first tenure was on fire. That team was really good with PJ Walker and Cam Phillips and everything. But I just feel like that was a unicorn of spring game. Spurrier and June Jones, right? There's an occasional 70-year-old guy that can actually kill it. The rest, not necessarily. Let's get into picking games. Enough of this foo-foo stuff, but I'm excited. I think there's some edge out there because of these coach firings or quittings or whatever the hell you want to say.
And June Jones, by the way, had the respect at least to be like, you have a team in Hawaii? No? All right. Well, then I'm good. I don't need to come out. I'm not traveling for these things. So, I know I can dominate and I have but I'll bow out,
Yeah. How do they not have a team in Hawaii? Didn't The Rock go to high school there?
Yeah.
She lives there. There's no pro team that would kill it.
Well, there's
culture.
no. Yeah, but there's no way they're making money on a road trip to Hawaii and back. It's like doing those clubs.
If he can't even fly. But I will say the original WFL had the Honolulu Hawaiians in the 70s. All right, bring them back. Let's go. Okay. Folks, look, before we get to the first game, I want to tell you that the UFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by us. Yes, we are part of SGPN. And the NBA playoffs are here. And SGPN is running another free contest for you. Pick every NFL. Pick every NBA playoff game. ATS. $1,000 first place prize winner take all. Enter today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA playoffs. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA playoffs. And remember to let it ride. All right.
1 week on one night on old fashioned football, and you already can't stop talking about the NFL.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. You pump that shit in my veins, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm defending the tush push and all this other stuff.
Did you talk about about our boy Mike Leach's plan that came out last
what
week?
A great
tush push?
We haven't talked about it on air, but he's a fucking genius. Our friend Mike Leach, who had an idea to take a midget and throw him over the fucking line of scrimmage, which was genius.
He had to be talked out of it. I like coaches like Mike, come on, we can't. Which means he was very excited for it. They had to talk him down.
He's like, we can get Gary Coleman. You still got some eligibility.
In the ball, launch him over the line, first down.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
it can't be because they do draw a line. You can push them, but you can't lift them. You can't toss them. You know what I mean? You can't pick a guy up and move him. So you certainly can't throw him, I imagine.
I mean, what about like you could take a midget and go underneath like your center's legs, like have him push and just go underneath there, and you're good, right?
Yeah, that you could do. But how great would be the dramatic of him coming out on a 4th and 1, like just running out there, a little midget. Everyone knows what's coming, you know, and he's coming out of the sideline into the huddle. Just a direct snap to him, you know. That'd
be so great. Now, hold on. I've always said, like, why didn't they get sumo wrestlers as hockey goalies? Is that idiotic? I've always wondered why not.
Everyone said that. Sumo wrestlers as hockey goalies, or a midget with a big board. You could go in there and one big paddle that covers the entire net. And you can sit behind the net, you know, or something like that.
I like that, man. That's what I'm saying. It makes sense. Hey, UFL, we got ideas. Mike Leach had ideas. All right. You're just the league that can capitalize on that. Imagine if every team had a required midget. That'd be perfect.
Like Bill Veeck, the famous baseball owner of Chicago White Sox and the A's, who put Eddie Goodell up there, the midget, to take an at bat and get a walk. And he put up a midget out there to bat. You know, he was 3 foot tall, and he said he was an ex Navy war vet, and he's like, if the coach doesn't like the coach, if he swings, that's what he told him. If he swings, he's going to have a sniper rifle. He was going to take him out. He's like, because he wants you to walk. That's how serious he was about it. And then I think baseball voided his contract or something like that.
Honestly, call me crazy. I think the 3-point play and the onside kick is more gimmicky than putting a midget in your backfield and throwing him over the line.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. At least you're giving a you know, especially someone a job, you know.
Exactly, Rod's not quite a midget, but he is volunteering for the right amount of money.
$100. Tossed to the goalpost. Yeah.
I would gladly do that shit.
So now, I was just saying, well, now we have to pay the player to get tossed, and maybe get a toss specialist, like a strongman guy who can just like throw the barrels, you know, like remember ESPN doesn't show the strongman competition anymore. That used to be the best.
I know, man. FS1 or like FS2 or 3 or something.
We'll Agnes, you know, lifting up trucks and throwing because that's how they worked out over there. You know, they would throw fucking barrels.
Wait. Well, while we're on the topic,
yes, we are.
Why don't we have 7-foot wide receivers? I've always wondered. Nowadays, you can't even touch a wide receiver. Before I understood, because you actually, you know, you like Sean Bradley would get destroyed on the bump and road and coverage. You can't do that now. So it's like, why is every wideout not 7 foot?
That fake turf is too hard on the knees when you're 7 feet.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll still take my chances, man. Go get a 7-footer. You know what's going to do shit. Just throw it up to him every time, every play.
Yeah, Wembyana on a fade out there, you know?
Oh, man. All right. Well, look, we're getting into games. We've done our spiel on innovation in the UFL.
And that was very innovation.
Let's go with Friday night, tomorrow night. We got games.
Yeah.
Live bullets, some say. The Memphis Showboats are showing up in town. Detroit, Michigan. Mike Nolan almost forced to play and start Bryce Perkins, maybe the best player in the league. But they did sign Alan Bowman. Bowman sounds like the name of a fucking powerboat. Bowman's powerboats. Guys, Michigan's laying 7.5. The over/under at 35.5. I'm all over these showboats here. New OC coming in, shake things up. Jim Turner, he doesn't put up with bullshit. They played him already once this year. 7.5 is like that's like 40 points in the NFL. What are we talking about here? I mean, look, I understand the showboats are bad, but
all right.
First off, Michigan's not going to want to run Perkins as much because they don't have Etling, their golden boy, right? Alan Bowman probably doesn't know the playbook, although the playbook's probably only about 3 plays. Give me the showboats all over this 7.5, this cockanimi number here. Now I guess you could make the point that Perkins playing the whole game, they're going to win by 40. What were you going to say, Bet Detective?
I was just gonna say this is our first rematch, and all right, Double B corrected himself in the chat. He says I overrate Perkins like crazy. Colby overrates Perkins like crazy.
Well, there's only this thing called numbers.
Well, okay. But you're right. This is the first revenge game already. Seems pretty early for that. This was a tight game to start off the season. The pick 6 by the other Nakua at the end broke it open, and that's how Michigan did wind up covering. Crazy that Memphis was laying 6.5 last week, and now they're getting 7.5, 8.5 in some books. This is tough, but it's personal now with me with Memphis because they really disgusted me last week, losing to Houston outright. But this is a hold your nose special, as they say, as you guys like to say. I think you're right. I think you have to take the points with Memphis. That's a lot of points for this Michigan team that's not beating teams by margin anywhere.
And I will just bring up Double B. So if you pull up the UFL passing stats, which I know you probably need the website for that, but they are there's one guy who has the best QB rate in the whole entire league, and that's Bryce Perkins at 88.5 QB rating there. Now, even more impressive is he has the longest yards per completion at 7.5. And that doesn't include his rushing stats. So he honestly, he's actually like the second best is Luis Perez, who throws his average completion is 6.4 yards. So I mean, Perkins 1.1 yards better, and also just doesn't turn the ball over as much as most of these quarterbacks, and better QBR. I mean, and then you add in the rushing stats because Luis Perez hasn't ran for anything in his life.
12 yards first week 1. He ran for 12 yards.
And since then, he's still out of breath with that. J Mark, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I was prepared to defend my showboats plus 7.5. I thought maybe you guys are going to be all over Michigan, but yeah, I mean, if you look at week 1, these teams were fairly close then until that pick 6. You can't rely on a pick 6 to cover the spread. I think Michigan is obviously the better team here. I mean, that's obvious. But do we trust them to cover 7.5? I don't. You guys don't. It's weird that we're all on Memphis plus 7.5, and 51% of the tickets for the spread is on Memphis. So it's pretty even there on DraftKings. So that doesn't worry me too much. Sometimes when you get too lopsided, you just it's the bettor's angle of the opposite's going to happen. But I think Panthers win this game. I just don't trust them to be able to win by 7.5. This is 4 to 6 points.
I like the over too.
More accurate.
What do you think on the total?
I like the over as well. Was it 35.5? As Tyler said there in the chat room, they should have won last week. Give me the points. Listen, Tyler. We do this every week with Memphis. They should win every week, and they don't. I'm done with that. I'm done with that game with them. They're better than they are. No, they're not. They're not better. They're worse, actually. Anytime they keep lowering the bar. But that being said, he also brought up a good point. Every game where the numbers, because these numbers move a lot. The reverse steam came in. So any numbers that moved away from it, I mean, if this number goes up to 8, 8.5, 9.5. History shows that Memphis will cover. So the reverse steam, the sharps, if there's UFL sharps out there, they all took a bath last week. It seems like every game where the number moved up, they went against it. So I don't know. I like the points. I see 8.5 somewhere too. But I think I might even like the over more than I like Memphis, to be honest with you.
Are we not the UFL sharps?
Yeah, we are.
I believe we are. And I might also add that Bryce Perkins second in the UFL in rushing touchdowns. One away from leading the league.
Very important. Very important.
For a guy that only takes 70% of the snaps.
We're gonna be on the fourth game, and he's gonna come in with another Bryce Perkins stat.
Yeah, I know. My God, the best,
I'm
best
done.
third down throwaway numbers for passes that are incompletable. He throws away the best of them.
Did you like the over as well, J Mark?
I'm on the under. I know they got a little new offensive coordinator in there, but they don't got Kyle Sloter. This is going to take some time. And yeah, I don't trust the Panthers to put up a ton of points either. I do trust the defenses. And so, yeah, I'm going to take the under.
All right. Saturday, we got a doubleheader. We got the St. Louis Battlehawks heading into Choctaw Stadium against Bob Stoops and these Renegades. St. Louis laying 1.5, the over under at 39.5. I'm on Arlington here, guys. I think, my future's looking better and better. This is by far the best game of the weekend. And I think it actually does have playoff implications. I know it might be too early to say that, but when you look at that division, this is the biggest game of the season thus far. And, I'm going to go with the better coach team. Bob Stoops, light years ahead of Anthony Beck as far as a head coach in my mind. Also, St. Louis, they're like you look at the wins, it's a little phony. It's like, how good is this team really? Meanwhile, the Renegades have been offensively challenged the past 2 weeks. St. Louis not known for their defense over the years. So I'm going to roll with these Renegades here at home in Choctaw Stadium. Bet and as far as the over, I'm going to go with the under. I think everyone's going to be on the over. I think this is a play for the under with, Bob Stoops net. Arlington Renegades defensive line, I think, is one of the best in the league. So, Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
For one, I wish this game was reverse time slot order wise with the other Saturday game, with the game we're about to talk about after this, the Houston Birmingham game. Now, I imagine they make these time slots before the season starts, so they didn't know. Obviously Birmingham's the premier team, but this game would be a great Saturday late night game, whatever it is, afternoon, late night. This is 9 a.m. West Coast time, for crying out loud. I mean, what the heck? In Arlington, these guys aren't going to be awake for this. Yeah. That being said, this is a big game. I'm all over Arlington and their futures all season long. That being said, I think this is a bounce back game for St. Louis, who might have got a wake up call last week. I mean, they were smacked in the face by those DC defenders at St. Louis. It's going to be a tight game. I love the under in this game, 39.5, if anything.
I do too. I think that's the best play on the board.
Arlington's defense, not just their D line, they're giving up 9 points a game. I mean, they're the number one defense in the league by far, and that's what Bob Stoops hangs his hat on there. They're going to be able to run the ball on St. Louis. That's going to be a problem. Kellen Balazs, of course, leads the league in rushing, and St. Louis gave up 110 yards rushing last week, so they're going to be licking their chops on that. All this leads to an underplay, so under 39.5, I'm all over. But I do think St. Louis, and it's kind of where St. Louis is coming as a bounce back spot after being humbled. Arlington is kind of a letdown spot in the game. They should have won at Birmingham that they were up for, and they kind of blew it there at the end and they were kind of hit hard with that false start thing. So who knows where their head's going to be after this, but this should be a great game, tightly contested. Give me the under and give me St. Louis.
J Mark.
Yeah. So I got three notes on this game that I think really impact it.
3 notes.
Yeah. One, Brandon Sebastian, defensive back for St. Louis Battlehawks, who's been there for 3 years, been with them, been their starter. He is out for the season, and I think that's a huge loss. He has been a really good defensive back for them. 2, the Renegades picked up Taco Charlton.
Yes.
I realize they just picked him up, but he's an edge rusher. It's not rocket science, and he did very well last year as an edge rusher. And 3, last year, week 9, the Renegades really limited Manny Wilkins. I think they're going to be able to do the same. And I think the Renegades win this one. I kind of said it on the preview or the recap show that I thought that they were going to win, and I'm doubling down on that.
How about a St. Louis victory, Arlington cover, because the King of Spring covers. That's what he does. Good teams win. Great teams, great Kings of Springs cover as St. Louis wins by 1.
And as far as the total here, I think that the the spring king, Luis Perez, is going to be able to move this ball through the air fairly easily against the Battlehawks. But I think the Battlehawks are going to get some too. So I'm going to go the opposite of you guys. I'm going to take the over.
All right.
Like the contrast we got going so far. 2 more games left. Obviously, the Saturday night one, the primetime one. But before we do that, I want to let you know the UFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost. Yes, you ever had your deposit blocked, by your bank right before a big bet? Those bastards, right? Ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but you hit your ATM limit? Garbage, right? Been there. It's terrible, right? Edge Boost has your back, and that is why you should check them out. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds, making it easier to move money when and whenever, or wherever you need it, essentially, without the delays that come with the traditional banks. And let me tell you, for your high rollers out there, you can you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire transfer ever again. And it gets better. Every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account, you earn cashback rewards up to 5% there. So all this for no usage fees, no minimum balance. What are you doing? Check out Edge Boost. And look, what's great too is all you have to do is verify who you are. There's no credit checks, no minimum balance, no usage fees. Check it out. All right. Edge Boost. Go to www.edgeboost.bet. Use our promo code SGPN. Once again, that's www.edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Look, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the NBA playoffs and UFL action. Plus, there's props for every game, and MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations, even outside of the states. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So what are you doing? Head over to mybookie.ag. But when you do, use our promo code TCE SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag, promo code TCE SGPN. All right, we are back. Shout out to Randy Kennedy's half hour late. Better late than never. All right, let's go. Saturday night, we get a classic on the line here. These Birmingham Stallions are heading into TD-ECU Stadium to take on these Houston Roughnecks. Curtis Johnson. Nolan Henderson's our quarterback. I knew it all along. Now they did cut.
Should we start finding the chat for coming in late? Maybe I like that.
Yeah. And also,
we'll let you go this time, Randy. But next time we're gonna find you. Put a little in a tip jar.
Next time we'll have to cut you like they did Cam Sutton. Cam Sutton, who put him on the field? Get him off the roster.
Unbelievable. Who didn't tell me? That's basically what that looked like. Who didn't tell me? I kind of feel bad for Cam Sutton, not because of that situation, because if that clip didn't go viral, he'd have a job. It wasn't that situation. It wasn't that play. It's just that it went viral, and he looked like, and the coach Curtis Johnson looked like an idiot. So he had to do that. I mean, that was crazy. Someone's got to pick up Cam.
Yeah. Someone give Cam Sutton a second chance. I mean, guys, I'm all over this. This is the perfect spot for Birmingham. The Roughnecks just won a game. They're thinking they're back. Curtis Johnson probably not even studying as much tape this week. Meanwhile, these Stallions know they eked it out. I know it was hard practices all week. I'm laying the 7.5 all day here. All day. And as far as the over under at 36.5, I do think the under is a play here too. I think Birmingham's going to shut down that offense. I don't give a shit if they got Nolan Henderson, Nolan Richardson, all right. Nolan Cromwell, it doesn't matter. All right.
How are you, Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
Lakers in 5.
I'm all over these Stallions. I honestly think they knew last week was a little bit of a lucky win blunder. And I just don't think Houston's a very good team. I'm not buying into that win. Love the under as well. Bet Detective, what are you doing here?
I also like the under 36.5 here. I'm not going to come here and sit here and tell you that Birmingham's the wrong side. I'm not going to try to play up Houston and say they're a good team, but I am on Houston plus the 7.5. And this is why I just don't trust Birmingham's offense just yet until they show me and figure this thing out. I'm not going to lay more than lay 7.5. Now I think they win. I'm not even going to sprint the money line because no matter how hell or high water, this league's going to have Birmingham win the game. But they were in the red zone once last week. I mean, of the entire game, this offense does not look good. They can't run the ball. I mean, Corral, he's up and down for sure. At least he's in there now for the starting consistent quarterback.
They played the three best defenses, though.
All right, with the three best defenses, but they don't seem interested at all in covering the spread. I mean, the red zone once is a joke. That's a fraud. And this Houston team, like we said, maybe they're not as bad as we thought they were. They lost to Arlington by 2. They got the outright win week 1. Last week 1 they did not. They got hammered, but which easily could happen here. Give me. I think 7.5's a lot of points. They. I tell you what, they do play hard every week. It's different than your Brahmas and your Memphis. Curtis Johnson does have them playing tough. He's cutting people. Let's go. Give me this. I see people trying to give me this. I'm not going as far as the money line. I'm not. And I usually, and any dog I do play, I usually do sprinkle. I'm not sprinkling on the Roughnecks to shock the world and shock our world at least there. But I'll take the 7.5. Let's go. I think they can keep this within the number and definitely the under. I think it's another ugly game. I see this as a 15-12 gross UFL game.
J-Mark.
Yeah, looking at betting trends on DraftKings is a wild thing because this is currently 50-50, and maybe that just means that I bet Birmingham and some Houston fan bet Houston, or maybe CJ hopped on there.
Yes.
Might just be 2 bets. I don't know. But also, we talked attendance in the recap show. Coach K is going to message me a live count. Give us a little update on what the attendance looks like for the Roughnecks game because he's going to be there.
Shout out to Coach K.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not cooking the books this week. If you listen to the UFL Gambling Podcast, we're gonna get you hard edge numbers. All right.
Yeah, I'm all over Birmingham in this one. It just comes down to coaching for me, and I mean talent too. But it comes down to coaching. I don't trust Curtis Johnson. I do trust Skip Holtz. I know they have looked pretty bad. They've looked like shit compared to normal, but I think they're going to be fine. And I think this is a get right game. This is a game where they go, hey, just a reminder, we are the best team in this league. But I'm going to counter you guys just a little bit. I'm going to go with the over because week 1, Roughnecks lost 31-6 to the Battlehawks. I could see a similar score. Get that 37 points in there, squeaking just to the over.
That's a hell of an over handicap that you call it. It's going to be 31-6.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious. I'll ask you guys at the end of the next game. But Sunday, we got the San Antonio Brahmas heading in.
I just want to know how many weeks is it going to take to you guys admit that this Birmingham team has no clothes, if you will. I mean, if they put up a couple more efforts, like they have the last, this year, will you finally admit that maybe they're not the same team?
Yeah, if they don't cover, I'm off them.
Well, no, I'll say this. I definitely think they're the worst Birmingham Stallions team yet. And a lot of it has to do with their O-line and running the ball. But I also the reason why I hesitate a little bit on like thinking that they did play, I think, the 3 best defenses other than them. So I'm like, maybe the offense will open up some, with just getting healthier. And I do trust Skip Holtz as someone just in this league where I do think coaching is a huge blunder. Yeah. Like I think Skip Holtz actually makes adjustments week in and week out. And there's not a lot of coaches that do, in my opinion. His
adjustment should be go sign Bo Scarborough and bring him back.
Yeah, but he retired. But I will say, like, I bet you if I had to bet, Skip Holtz is telling Matt Corral to run the ball more. He's like, you got lanes, man. That's going to open up our offense. If you take the shots and run the ball more when we pass the ball and that's there for you. And I think that will really make the offense go. The offensive line, though, is definitely just not as good as the previous years. All those guys went to the NFL. A lot of those guys, some of them got cut, some of them made it, but it's just not as good. And that's why they are vulnerable this year. They're very vulnerable. Like, as much as I still think like I can rely on Skip Holtz to make adjustments and coach, I still think this is the worst team of their tenure with Skip Holtz. Now, having said that, the San Antonio Brahmas are heading into Aldi Field. Beer Snake. How big will it be this week? That's just what all the women want to know. DC's laying 7, the over under at 37.5. I'm all over these Brahmas. And by the way, money line.
Oh, sprinkle a little bit. 255.
Oh, Peyton Party. Where did his grandpa become a legend? Oh, he was a Washington Redskin. Where did he become a head coach later? The Washington Redskins. He's back home. Peyton, he's gonna grab some of that grass, let it hit that wind and come right in his face. He's gonna say, I was built for this shit. And DC coming off an emotional win. We all know that's like the rivalry in this league. If there's one rivalry, it is St. Louis, DC. I know that Tony Meatball did not call Shannon Harris a bellboy or anything, but still, I think the Brahmas are in a good spot. You saw it before with the Showboats. They couldn't close the deal. Now that Peyton Party is head coach too, I think last week he was like, okay, I'm the OC. I'm going to call different plays, but I'll keep your guy Mond in there. Oh, now he's the head coach. He can play whoever the fuck he wants. We're firing. But Brahmas win this thing out, right? Wow. I like the over on 37.5 as well.
Woo! That's a nice little take there. I'm with you on all the totals. It seems like I'm also on the over in this game, but for different reasons. And you're right. The formula is there. They had DC open the season by beating Birmingham. Then they kind of had a letdown spot for Memphis. They were lucky to get out of there with a win. They did not cover the big number. Now they had their big rivalry game. They smacked St. Louis. It looks like the exact same situation, kind of a letdown spot back at home versus the Brahmas. Only difference is the Brahmas are awful. I mean, they are terrible. They are horrible.
Not only has Peyton Party got the family, from DC that played there, Anthony McFarland, Maryland Terrapin.
Great. They give him the ball. Maybe they can work out, but they don't give him the ball and nothing happens. And you got son of a bum walking out. They don't know. Maybe there's video of him dancing at the club with the rappers out there. Maybe a parody video. Who knows? But the point is their defense is terrible. They give up over 28 points a game, worse in the league by far. They give up the most points to running backs. DC does run the ball and throw the ball.
I'm on the over. I'm on the over.
Yeah, you can take the over all you want, and I will too. But DC is going to slaughter this horrendous San Antonio Brahmas team. It's going to be another beer snake party. This DC team is rolling this year, and they're on a mission to prove that last year was kind of a fluke of a letdown spot. And I'm not getting off this. I'm not getting off this train now. Give me DC and the over.
You can't win.
J-Mark, what are you doing here?
First total, I agree with you guys on. I just noticed that you guys have been on the same total. I've been the opposite. I agree with the over here. So feels like we'll probably go 2-2, all of us in the total. But I mean, San Antonio, I get the changes. I get the excitement about Party. I get that McFarland is great, even though they only ran him 7 times. Though John Lovett banged up, might not play. So maybe McFarland gets the ball more. But
homecoming.
This is the number 1 team. DC is the number 1 team in this league right now.
No.
Yeah,
regular season bullshit. Get out of here.
What are we handicapping? This is the regular season. I love that regular season bullshit.
No, I'm saying Birmingham will stick it to him next time, and they'll remind the bellboy to go get his goddamn job back. All right?
San Antonio's nowhere close to Birmingham, so true. I'm still taking DC to cover this.
Oh, I can't wait to talk shit to you guys this weekend. What side do you want for the total, J-Mark?
He's with us. It's the first time he agrees with us.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. All right, well, look, I wanted to ask you guys this. Besides the obvious one, Arlington, St. Louis, what's the game you're out of the 3 other games? Which one are you looking forward to the most? Is it Birmingham, Houston, San Antonio, DC, or Memphis, Detroit? It's kind of a lemon of a week for those games, but
now it's San Antonio, DC because it's personal, and I want to shove it down your goddamn throat. I
was going to say that one anyway, but
put a banana in your tailpipe. That's for sure. But in all honesty, I'm all 3 of the other games I have intrigue at least in because I don't really know what you're going to get with any of them. So, I am curious to see if Birmingham does do a classic get right game and wipes the floor with Houston, then I'll feel a lot better about them. That's for sure. But I mean, right now there are a lot of question marks.
A lot of question marks about these DC defenders too. All right. Their phony little win against Memphis week 2.
The only
They're-
question mark is you questioning DC.
Their
That's the
bellboy
question mark.
bullshit. All right. Making up storylines. Who? I didn't call you that.
Yeah,
Right?
it's WrestleMania week. Make up your storylines. I like it.
You know it's bad when I'm defending Tamu more than Colby is.
He leads the league in passing, for crying out loud.
No, he doesn't.
Thomas
No.
an MVP.
I suppose Bryce Perkins does.
He does.
In what-
we are.
yeah, I
We
know.
are.
Fourth game.
If you're talking yards, it is Tamu, but he gets all the snaps. He gets all the snaps. He
I don't know the advanced per snap pass yard statistics.
He
but-
gets every goddamn
bullshit is
snap.
this?
All
But
right?
yes, I am looking at the yards, that stat, and that's
Well-
since that's how they determine who leads the league in passing. That's what I was looking at. Yes.
Well, you want to talk about QB percentage?
No.
Completion percentage? 46%. He's fucking ass at completing passes, buddy.
You're right.
And-
He does miss wide open guys. It's the
And
UFL.
second in the UFL, NFL, whatever the fuck, in interceptions. All right.
Right, 'cause
One
he throws
behind
the ball a
PJ
lot.
Perry.
Yeah, because he throws the ball a lot.
I'm not buying this bullshit
hilarious.
you're selling us. All right, look, we're gonna get to the DFS part of the show, but before we do that, I want to let you know that the UFL Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Man, we were playing Underdog UFL. Actually, they got some stuff right now, guys. Jump on over there. I'm telling you. Let's talk about this. They only have right now. I mean, they'll have every game up at some point, but right now, I believe they only have the Friday night game. Let me see if they've updated and added the Saturday game. No, I only see the Friday game. But what do you guys think of? I love EJ Perry's projected passing numbers: 80.5 passing yards. Higher or lower, Bet Detective, on EJ Perry, 80.5 passing yards.
I mean, I hate it.
How about this one? Bryce Perkins,
No, let's
higher
go.
or lower,
Let's go.
173.5.
No, Bryce Perkins is your territory. Let's go EJ Perry lower, only because you always have an opportunity that he'll be removed from the game, because every game he goes in there, people are like, why do we have him in there? It seems like I hate.
What
EJ
about-
Perry. Let's go lower.
Okay, so I'm taking the lower on EJ Perry. What about your boy Jonathan Adams, who leads the league in receiving by like 6 or 7 receptions, I think?
Well, he's
higher
an
or
odd-
lower, 59.5 receiving yards. I'm sorry.
That's crazy. That's a higher number than it was last week, in which he did not clear, but he still gets the targets. I mean, he's an auto higher play for me, no matter what.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm going to throw. Actually, wait, they're on the same team, so I need one on the. How about Nate McCrary? At a half a touchdown, higher or lower?
I say go Jaden Sheridan higher than 26.5 rush yards.
Yes,
Ooh,
got my boy Sheridan in
go.
there.
All right, so we got those three. EJ Perry, lower than 80.5 passing yards. Jonathan Adams, higher than 59.5 receiving yards. Jaden going to the Sheridan, higher than 26.5 rushing yards. We throw in 30 smackaroos on that. You win in $229. Boom.
Yeah.
Just submitted that. Right. Oh, I'm sorry. But that's the type of edge you can get at underdogfantasy.com. So jump on over there. Make sure you use our promo code when you sign up, TCE SGPN, to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your home for AI back picks and props, and Rhythm is now live. Their new model for Major League Baseball is out. They still got models out there too for NBA and golf, and picks so good it makes you feel like you're cheating. Building your own model is always simple and easy as well. I always like doing that too. And Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25, and 50% off the annual subscription with the promo code SGPN50 over at Rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's, once again, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. All right. Yeah. Look, we got it in. We got it in right now. We got it in. Right? Let's make that cash. DFS, guys. I put down a lot of money on a lineup last week, and I ate shit. And I knew it was cooked the minute that Birmingham Stallions game at the halftime, and that was like what, 3-0 or something, or 7-3, 6-0. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I knew my DFS lineup was cooked, but I feel like this is a revenge week. Curious what you guys did at the quarterback spot. Me, you know me, I'm stubborn, arrogant, stupid. Matt Corral, going back to that same well. I don't think Houston is going to be able to move the ball on Birmingham. And I think that will make the time of possession, because in a way, that's kind of what you're looking for in this league. I feel like I thought about Perkins, because Alan Bowman is.
Of course you did.
Yeah, you're always thinking about him.
Well, he's a great guy, hell of a good guy.
Thinking of what new stat you can invent to act like he's one of the leaders in the league.
He's the best. He's the best in the league. All right? He's the real king of spring.
He's the best guy around. The people he murdered. What murder?
I'm on Corral though at 9,200. It's a great play. I don't care what you say, Brad Detective. All right.
It's
what are you
fine.
gonna go?
It's a fine play.
What are you doing at the QB spot?
I was just gonna say last week I got burned. First week I did not win money in DFS because I went with those battle cocks and I Taylors and Manny both shit the bed on that one. Built my whole team around them. So I'm going to go with the man who does lead the league in passing yards and passing. Talmud, the MVP, who has a lot of volume no matter what. He's throwing the ball like 30 times a game. It's insane. 9,600. Jordan Tamu versus the worst defense in football in San Antonio. I told you they let up 28 points a game, over 28 points a game. 9,600.
Now I see why you're defending him with his little 46% completion percentage.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about his percentages. That doesn't matter in DFS. Give me the yardage, give me the touchdowns, and he's going to get them all. He's going to. I just think DC in general is going to have a big game. This is not the first defender that's going to be on my lineup.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
J Mark, what are you doing here?
A quick shout out to a guy that's been showing up at Old Fashioned Football. What whiskey is J Mark drinking? It's Balcones Brimstone, which is a pot stilled whiskey that's finished in smoky barrels, like extra smoky. It's pretty good stuff. Even though he said that Sailor shit the bed last week, he still was the highest scoring running back with only 16 points. Quarterback, I'm right with you, CJ. Tamu. He goes against the 7th ranked defense for fantasy points allowed, 2 quarterbacks. And I just think he does lead the league in passing, not based on snap share, but he does lead the league in passing. I know he makes some boneheaded mistakes, but I'm going with Tamu for 9,600.
How much? Yeah.
It's a lie. The evidence has been falsified.
Is there snap share points in DFS? What league is that in?
Man, so you guys both, you guys are just characters. You guys, what do you guys texted, call, stayed up late on phone calls? You guys running up a phone bill over there? What the fuck's going on over there? Huh? You guys?
Yeah, you caught us.
The phone bill. We call after 9. It's free, okay?
All right, at the running back spot, I got my boy, Greg Williams. He helped out with the game plan last week. They said that on air before he left. He helped out with the game plan. He ain't there to help his son this week. Anthony McFarland, little Anthony McFarland, gonna go off. It's a homecoming. He's back home. He's got family there. He's getting all the snaps. 8,500, no problem. Bet Detective, did you roster Anthony McFarland?
I had 2 lineups and I couldn't decide between Anthony McFarland and someone else, so I'll put on there. So in this one, I like Anthony McFarland because you called it last week with the coaching consistency. The one guy you can rely on is Anthony McFarland. So I think with even more coaching, with the son of a bum walking out the door, I think literally the only thing they could trust is Anthony McFarland, and you can't go wrong with the most talented player in the league being on your roster. So at 8,500, I like that Anthony McFarland. I didn't know it was a homecoming for him, but I'm sure he'll have lots of family and friends out there to see this one. But yeah, I tailed you with Anthony McFarland.
All right, J Mark, did you wise up finally and go with McFarland or what?
Yeah, I got 3 running backs, but McFarland is the highest priced one. I almost went with Sailors. He is 11,000, but he goes against the first ranked running defense against running backs, even though I think he gets involved in the passing game there. But McFarland is my most expensive, especially because John Lovett questionable. If Lovett doesn't play, McFarland should get the ball more.
That's what tips me over the top is Lovett being out.
I have 3 running backs as well, J Mark. I'm going to jump right into the second one. Price wise, same game. Abram Smith. Look, he missed the first 2 weekends. Wait, he missed. No. He played, but he didn't get a lot of carries in the first game, right? That's what it was.
He played all 3. I mean, he had 13. He had 13 carries. It's not a lot compared to what he had in the other 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. He had 23 last week, I think it was, and
50 yards.
52 yards.
Yeah, that is the problem. He has not looked good. I'm only saying this. I also have Abram Smith here, but what you can rely on is he's going to get the ball, and like you can't rely on that in any other running backs in the league. His carries are 13, 16, and 23, and that's all you really can ask for in volume. And just to help you out before, and I'm cutting you off here, Colby, but San Antonio's defense has allowed the most points and yards to running backs in the league. You can run all week 1. Arlington ran for 270 yards against them.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, he hasn't gotten in the end zone yet. This is the game. He's also got a couple receptions. Watch that screen game, J Mark. Watch that screen game. You don't have Abram Smith. You're looking at us like we're a bunch of idiots for this pick.
I'm sure.
No, I don't, because last week it was very obvious who the better back was. I know Abram Smith is the thumper. I'm going to stay in that same game, but I'm going to take Deion Jackson. He's the one that's going to house that screen. And he just looked more efficient. And I think DC notices that when they're looking at the game tape and say, we got to get him more than 8 carries. I think this is going to be more of a 50-50 split. And he's been the better back as far as efficiency. So I'm going with Deion Jackson, only 5,300.
Yeah, that is a cheap price for him. But I was also liking how Abram Smith is down to 8,000, which he hasn't been this cheap in a while.
Yeah.
It's because he doesn't look good. So I think it's a good buy low on Abram Smith. But I don't even mind playing both Abram Smith and Deion Jackson. I think that's how much DC is going to roll over San Antonio.
Agreed.
Yeah. And CJ, do you have a third back?
I do not. And it's just McFarland and Abram Smith.
Because I went with your boy, Kalen Ballage.
Oh, no, I do have Kalen Ballage. I didn't realize how cheap he was. How's he still this cheap? He leads the league in rush. He leads the league in rushing. They must not be going by counting by snap shares.
And he only had 41 yards last week, but that's against a stout Stallions D line. Yeah. I think they bounce back this week. At what's his price? 7,300.
7,300. Yeah.
This is a guy that ran for $110 opening day against San Antonio. So yeah, I'm all over this one too. J Mark, do you have him as well?
Shout out. No, I do not. Shout out to FBI Tugboat saying Jaden Sheridan over McCray. McCray is questionable, and I do have Jaden Sheridan. I think he showed a lot of spark last week, right? And I think they're going to rely on that against Memphis. He's only 5,500. I think he's going to be their lead back this week. So, Sheridan for 5,500.
Yeah, you guys are late to the party on that kind of.
Yeah,
he's yesterday's news for me for Jaden. I've already moved on. I'm trying to find the new Jaden Sheridan. You know.
Fair enough.
No, he's a great play.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't think against that. I think that Stoops defense is legit. So. Yeah, that's what I'm a little worried about. I thought about it though. I had the money to do it and I didn't. So what's that tell you?
The 5,500
wide receiver wise.
Yeah, it's a weird flex there. I could have, trust me, I could have spent. Oh, I had the money.
That's true. I had that money. It's just sitting there. I can do whatever I want with that shit. All right, and I didn't. Kind of like at the wide receiver position when I went with I'm doubling down. Last week, I think he only had 3 catches. But Isaiah Winstead is my guy. Second in the league in receptions. And if you look at what he's done over the past couple of weeks, so he had 7 for 73 2 weeks ago. And this offense has been bottled up a little bit. I think that playing the Battlehawks, not known for their defense, it'll be able to open up a little bit. He still had 6 targets last week. So he's had 15 targets the past 2 games. Luis Perez loves throwing it to him. He's an ECU guy through and through. Of course, I'm going to roster Isaiah Winstead. Bet Detective, did you roster Isaiah Winstead?
I did not, but I like him. He gets a lot of targets, and he still had a decent game, even though he wasn't. It was definitely a come down spot for him. Though I'm going to give out a guy who I gave out on my bench from last week. One of the old who caught a touchdown, or a freaky touchdown. But with Ty Scott being out now with that weird injury for DC, How about Cornell Powell? Only at
I got him too, you
5,500.
filthy animal.
Oh, I gave him out last week as a possibility, and he did have a weird touchdown. But with Ty Scott out, I love Cornell Powell here as a hookup for Tamu. He's my third defender I have in the lineup, though. 5,500. He's a bargain.
I loaded up on him too, so it pretty much puts me out of players now. But J Mark, did you roster Powell? And if not, who'd you roster?
I did not, but I do have Winstead. I agree with you there that he has been very good. And like I said, with Brandon Sebastian out, I think that Perez and the boys are going to be able to move that ball. And Winstead at 6,400, still think it's too cheap. Still too cheap.
Okay, I do. They can't vault him up too much, it seems like. But yeah, right now, the next couple weeks, grabbing this range. Are you out of players now, Colby?
All I have left is defense, so bet to take a fire away.
Yeah, you and I got one more.
One more. As another guy I gave you guys out last week, I'm going to ride him again with Kane still being out. Davion Davis at 5,400 in that Birmingham game. He's the wide out, the split wide weapon that they have. Of course, as Colby has pointed out, they're taking a big step down in defense facing competition. Birmingham, of course, going to have a huge game. So Davion Davis at 5,400. Those are two wideouts. Bargain bin between Cornell Powell and Davis are barely, not even 11,000 for the two of them combined.
I like it. I like it, buddy. I thought about it. I had him last week, and he got some targets last week.
Yeah, we all had him.
He dropped. It was a great ball, man. He dropped that deep ball that he almost had. J Mark, what are you doing here?
Yeah, so I like to stack my quarterback with a wide receiver. Last year when DC had injuries, Chris Rowland stepped up.
Great.
So Ty Scott having injuries. Rowland has been there all 3 years, I think, or 2 years, I guess. Sorry, XFL team. I think that he and Tamu get on the same page. 6,900. He had some bad drops last week, but he still had a good amount of targets. He still had 9 targets, only 2 catches, 9 targets. I think they get on the same page this week. And 6,900, Chris Rowland.
I like that play.
I like that play too. I mean, there will be some scoring. I'm on the over. But the Brahmas are live. Defense. I say all of that. I'm joking. I'll be honest. I thought about taking DC's defense. I was like, nah, I'm on the over, but I'm on the Stallions. CJ, I'm not going to overthink this. I was contemplating, like, can I get cute and try one of these other teams? I was like, no. Fade Houston. No way it's sustainable with this foo-foo bullshit. You know what I mean? What are you doing here, buddy?
I like Birmingham there as well. As far as the defense, I think there's 3 defenses you can play this week. Birmingham, of course, 4,400, maybe be number 1. I took Michigan. I tossed them out there at 4,300 on a Friday night. I'm going to start them. Why not? And I would play DC as well at 4,500. They're the most expensive, but they'd be the third ranked I would have of those 3 defenses. I went with Michigan 4,300 just to save $100, even though I don't need the money, as I found out. But for my other lineup, I went Birmingham, and that I won't announce here. Went double tight on that lineup because I wanted to do double tight.
Ooh, he said that he won't announce.
Well, I mean, I can announce it.
Lineups.
I like to toss that. My double tight I like doing there. Sal Canelo, who had a big week last week. He's back, and I think he's going to have a nice game. And then, of course, our guy who fumbled on the goal line might not go
Sternberger.
back. Yeah, give Sternberger back. Corral does like him, so.
I might jump on another roster with Sternberger there.
Yeah, get Sternberger there.
J Mark, what defense did you roll with?
I did roll with the Panthers. I know you guys were on the over on that game. I'm on the under, and I think the Panthers are going to smother Memphis. So yeah, give me the Panthers 4,300 against the worst team as far as allowing fantasy points to defenses.
All right.
Well, look, that's our show. I'm gonna dominate these bastards. All right. Appreciate you tuning in, and don't worry, we will be back to recap on Monday or Tuesday. So stick around for that. But appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you check out all the other stuff we do. CJ Sullivan with the Bottom Line Bombs.
Yep.
Give him a follow on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _ J Mark with the Old Fashioned Football Podcast. Check out that. Give him a follow on Twitter at J Mark Football. I host the college football experience, the college baseball experience, college basketball experience. Check it all out. Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Check all of that good stuff out. Don't forget to follow the UFL. All right, at UFL Gambling Pod on Twitter, and then youtube.com/@UFL Gambling Pod as well. So tell a friend about it. All right.
And
I know they might not know what the UFL is, but tell them.
Well, I was going to say that since it started from the XFL and The Rock is involved, on my Bottom Line Bombs, I did a WrestleMania episode, which is out now. Brought in a guest, Vince Averill from the We Watch Wrestling podcast.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so we actually gave out some legit WrestleMania bombs. There are lines. MyBookie.ag and BetUS gives out lines on these wrestling things. Now they limited a bit. People are like, well, how can you bet on it? Scripted. What isn't scripted? The NBA is scripted. If that's what I want, find out the script, then bet on it. All right, so that's what we're trying to do. But so if you're into that kind of thing, it's kind of fun.
Yes, and remember, J Mark just dropped a NFL draft video.
Yes.
Episode, I guess I should say video
with a great guest, Colby D.
Yeah,
I'm on there. We're talking about every time I do a show, I forget to bring whiskey. So
yeah, he was drinking vodka on our whiskey show.
Oh, whoa!
There's whatever was available. I realized I was going on a drinking show. It's like so I just quickly checked what I had in the house, and I realized, shit, all I got is some vodka from Holland. So anyway, check out that episode. It's fun. It's good times. And looking forward to talking shit to everyone next week. So till next time, this is the UFL Gambling Podcast where crossroads meet bullshit. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
If you see him on the street, then tip your hat his way. You'll know just where he's headed and which game he's gonna play. He's a sharpshooting gunman and always aiming high. To win any gunfight, his limit is the sky. We're the gunslingers from San Antonio. We're the gunslingers on the road or at home. Remember the Alamo, for such as we are known. We're the gunslingers from San Antonio. And when we're away, we do win our job. We're keeping law and order at home and abroad. Gamblers and outlaws, you better step aside. Our motto is to shoot 'em up and bring 'em back alive. We're the gunslingers from San Antonio. We're the gunslingers.